Now, having spent 12 years in orbit around Saturn, Cassini has begun its final scientific mission, which will culminate with the spacecraft crashing into, or at least burning up in the atmosphere of Saturn itself on the 15th of September 2017. Jono Weltman is here to continue this discussion. I think just break it down for us. Why are we crashing this incredible satellite that's given us so much? Why are we destroying it now in one final mission?
After 20 years of doing incredible work for us, Cassini is running out of fuel. And we don't want to...
Such an earthly problem.
It's a common problem. We know it well. Huh? But we don't want to contaminate anything in orbit around Saturn. We don't want to contaminate any of the potentially habitable worlds with the microbes that can survive in space, that could have launched and been stuck to Cassini from Earth from the early days. So to ensure that we don't do that, we need to make sure that the spacecraft is burnt up. And the best way to do that is fly it into the planet itself.
Fly through that atmosphere.
Yeah,
so what's going to happen through this final mission? What can we expect?
This is one of Cassini's most exciting missions, because starting on Wednesday, we're doing 20 loops through the outer rings. The closest we've ever come to the rings, to see what they're made of, to observe them, to see if there's any impact with comets or meteors that we could see. And once it's finished, this 20, it's going to do one a week, and round about April next year, April 22nd, it will finish its 20 loops around the outer rings. It will then go around the moon Titan once, and then do 22 loops on the inner rings. And then once it's done that, it's going to crash into Saturn itself.
So it's a bittersweet ending. As much as we don't want to see this phenomenal piece of technology and this journey come to an end, there is a huge amount still to be learned. Very, very exciting. We know so much is going on in the final frontier at the moment. Any other active missions we should be keeping an eye on?
Absolutely. Just because we're losing Cassini doesn't mean there aren't exciting things happening. There's ExoMars, which is now sending back amazing pictures of Mars. We, of course, have the Curiosity rover that's still on Mars. We have Juno going around Jupiter. We have New Horizons that explored Pluto for us for the first time and is moving into the Kuiper Belt and has discovered what we think is a new dwarf planet. So there's plenty happening, stay tuned.
Are we seeing our space exploration speeding up now? What is this thrust? Is it all Elon Musk? What are we benefiting from at the moment?
Well, we're seeing the impact of all the work that was done 20 or 30 years ago. These are long-term, long-planning missions. And it is very exciting. This is, the last generation's work that we're benefiting from. And we need to carry the mantle forward now and continue exploring and come up with new missions and new ways of doing science. But I think what's really exciting now is human exploration is back on the table. And that's it. That first, in our lifetime, we're going to see a human put a foot on Mars.
One of your descendants might put a foot on Mars, my friend. Just put it into context. Jono, I know I act like a big kid when I'm around you, but it's because you introduce some absolutely mind-blowing concepts to us. Thank you so much. So I know there's a new generation also getting excited about science, and that's what we love. So this is indeed the final frontier, and we'll probably have you in one last time to bid Cassini a fond farewell. Bon voyage.